Rinse takes your laundry and hand-delivers it to your door, expertly cleaned and folded. So you could take the time once spent folding and sorting and waiting to finally pursue a whole new version of you. Like Tea Time You. Or this Tea Time You. Or even this Tea Time You.
Said you hear about Dave?
Or even Tea Time You.
So update on Dave.
It's up to you. We'll take the laundry. Rinse. It's time to be great.
Shawn French, what up? This one luck, I let the pain inspire me. I put my all in everything I'm doing. Up until it's done, I'm me for the entirety. I put in overtime, I be working. Just know I'ma go for mine, cause I earned it. They watching, I know it's time. I confirmed it. A whole society determined.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Determined Society. I am your host, Shawn French, and I have with me an amazing guest today, a dude that has turned out to be, I can see us being really good friends. We met on the internet. That's kind of funny story, but I have with me an entrepreneur, a software salesperson. He was a cast member of season 6, Love is Blind. Clay Gravesande, what's up, baby?
What's up, man? How you doing, Shawn?
I'm good, man. We had a nice little car ride.
Yes, we did.
You know, for the everybody listening right now, I don't think they realize how close Tampa is to Naples. It is probably a 2-hour drive. It took us a good, 4.5 hours?
Took us a good 4.5 hours. The traffic was tremendous, but you did a great job. I fell asleep. I did not have his back on that
fucking
car
Sleeping
ride.
Beauty over there. He was out.
I have a good nature of just being able to fall asleep anywhere I go.
Don't know how you do it, man.
Yeah,
Don't know how you do it.
He could have kidnapped me. The first time I met you, but I felt so comfortable with this guy.
Dude, let's seriously talk about that. So I'm like driving down the interstate this morning.
Yeah.
You know, wake up at 3, come and get you. And I'm thinking like, I literally had no issue offering that up to you. So, you know, that's, to your character and to who you are and all that good stuff. So I'm driving about halfway there. I'm thinking, man, this dude is brave. You don't even know me. I'm like, hey man, I'll drive up and I'll come get you, bring you back down, take you to the airport. That's a brave dude. And then I'm driving down the road for about another 10 minutes. I'm thinking, wait a second. I'm pretty fucking brave. Yeah. I don't know this guy. But we're here.
We're here now.
We lived. But dude, I'm super, super excited to have you on. You know, we've had a lot of time together, obviously, today to talk about some really cool shit, just, about your experience with the show and everything. And so, dude, the one thing that I want to hit right off the bat, man, we talked about a little bit is man, you got killed on the internet. You got killed on the show. And just, dude, how has that impacted you in your personal life moving forward or after that?
You know what's funny too, Shawn? I probably should have been able to understand that I'm probably going to get killed on the internet for saying no at the altar, but I was really oblivious to it. So it kind of hit me like a car crash. I wasn't really expecting it. But in terms of navigating through it, I've just been around my family, really just been I have my own business. So more so just focusing on that, focusing on who I am, trying to be a better person. But I'm not going to lie, I definitely went through a little bit of depression. But, as men, I sometimes think that we don't really get the benefit of the doubt, and who really cares? It's just kind of just keep on moving on. So I just kind of adopted that mindset, hey, at the end of the day, I did a show. I'm not going to get that much sympathy. I'm not asking for sympathy. Let me just kind of keep on moving through the motion. And what I've done is just not try to be too much on the internet, not try to give too much of my opinion. Just forget about me, honestly. And let me just kind of live my life. Just leave me alone.
Leave me the fuck alone. I want to move on.
I just want to live my life. I don't want anybody on the internet giving me their opinion. So it was definitely difficult to navigate through, but I'm always grateful for the opportunity. And, I think it was humbling as well for me to actually look at myself and see me in a relationship. It's kind of like watching tape. I'm just dang, I said that. So
dude, it's funny because I mentioned this to you on the drive up. I'm like, I literally felt like when I was watching that season, there was moments where I saw you after the first time you kind of said, I don't know if I'm ready to do this. You brought up your parents' relationship and things like that. But it was crazy because there was times where I could literally see you go through it. You're having a good time, having, conversations with AD. Then all of a sudden, I look at my wife. I'm like, here he comes. He's having this thought right now, this overwhelming thought. I'm like, damn, dude. It was very authentic in my opinion, and to me, it wasn't a surprise. So you know, and again, I don't know everything, right? I'm kind of just like one of those, you know, jackasses that watch the show and, you know, now have become friends with you.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm watching it. I'm like, yeah, there's no surprise.
Yeah.
There was no surprise that this dude wasn't ready. You know, why are we killing this guy?
I didn't understand it, but you know, I think it comes down to the fan base really fell in love with AD, and you know, me saying no to her was like me saying no to them. I think a lot of people was projecting during that situation, like, you know, they have a relationship where they think it's going well, then a guy all of a sudden just says like, hey, I can't do this. Maybe we should be friends. You know, I'm too busy. So I think that my story really like resonated with a lot of, especially my age women, what they're going through with situationships. So I think that they looked at AD as themselves and they just couldn't stand it, you know. But, you know, I thought I was transparent the whole time. You know, me saying no to AD was not me saying no to her. It was more so just like, hey, I just don't think I'm really ready for marriage. And, you know, two things could be true, Shawn. Like, I went on a show and I thought I was ready for marriage. I go on a show and I'm like, this is what marriage is? Oh, I don't think I'm ready for it. But, like, you know, in terms of me taking a step to do it, I thought I was. So I do take accountability with like, hey, this show is for marriage, but I do think I did it right. And I found out that, hey, this situation, me getting married in 5 weeks, I need a little bit more depth, you know? And it just, and I said no.
I mean, shit, dude, let's be honest. Like, you did not say no to AD. You said no at the time. And I know you guys spent some time after the show dating and then, you know, it fizzled out. But like, dude, you know, to say that you weren't ready for marriage, I don't know if that's true, because is that what marriage really is in the real world?
Yeah.
Is that how we're doing it? Is that how we're doing it? Yeah, it's a great show. I mean, dude, you know, I've always said, I watch it. I love it. It's entertaining. For me, it detaches me from reality and lets me just kind of downshift and just watch other relationships play out. But like, you know, given a regular situation and like you said, more depth, more time, like you probably would have been okay.
When it comes to what your family eats and drinks, you know your choices matter. You're the expert because you know what fits your life. And getting it right starts with good information. That's why America's beverage companies are sharing more information about our ingredients at goodtoknowfacts.org. No spin, no judgments, just the facts straight from the experts for more than 140 beverage ingredients. Visit goodtoknowfacts.org.
So, you're about to make a trade based on a friend's text. But which you do you listen to? Is it, oh, we could buy a house in Tulum? Get optioning those options. We could lose everything. Or, let's do a little research. Get your head in the trade and make the investment decision that's right for you. Learn more at finra.org/trade-smart.
When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
You know, Shawn, that's why I like connecting with people who are married, because they could give me a little bit of a different perspective. Because even with me doing the show, I would say I'm a little bit more on the negative side of what I could bring to a relationship, just because, you know, I got killed on the internet and then like people are telling you all these things and you could somehow like a little bit believe what people are saying, like, oh, you're a piece of shit, you're this, you're that. And, you know, you kind of believe it in a sense. Like, so I try to not even engage in relationship type of communication with women. I've just kind of been focusing, but I like connecting with you because I would love to understand, even from your perspective, like what marriage means for you and, you know, just a guy that's done it. Because I don't think I have that much of an influence. And even when I do talk to married folks, they're always like, hey, Clay, you did a good job. Wait.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, like look, so from a standpoint of like, I will say this, not every married couple has it figured out. I would say 99.9999% of us fucking married couples do not have anything figured out. But to me, what it means is you're going to take this person on their worst fucking day, man. Like, what does it really mean? Like, when you are in the trenches with that woman and you want to scream and like you hate her at that fucking moment, or she hates you at that moment, but like when it all comes to push and shove, yo, that's your partner. Like you're not coming off of that. And that's what me and my wife have. there's many times where my wife will frustrate the dog shit out of me. And I know I do it to her too.
Yeah.
You know, there's times where I take an approach with the kids that she doesn't really care for. She lets me know. And then there'll be times where she takes an approach that I don't like at all. And I let her know. At the end of the day, we found a way to be like, okay, well, how can we do better next time? And so for me, marriage is just, it's a choice to love your partner every day. Because let's face it, with the internet, with everything going on in the world and society, the misdirection, it's very easy for people to lose sight of who they married in the first place. There's a reason why I married my wife. There's a reason why I wanted to date my wife. You know, the first thing was she's absolutely drop dead gorgeous. When I look at my wife, I'm like, God damn.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Gotta be excited
She's
about
bad.
her. Yep.
She is bad. And then it's like, wait, she's funny? She's smart? She's like extremely intelligent. So it's everything wrapped up into this one person. And so there's moments when you're married that you have to go back in the past and remember. And before you get mad, baby, I'm not saying I got to do that a lot, but you know, we do.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's been moments where she has felt losing touch with me. And then all of a sudden, like we talk about it and I change some things and it's better. But dude, what it is, it's just a damn choice every day. It ain't, you know,
Ain't rocket science.
bro, it ain't leave it to fucking Beaver, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, there's yelling and shit in the house, you know. And the one thing that I will tell you, man, it's funny. When you are married, you will have your own separate day from your spouse and from your kids. And you're in this best energy. And then your family comes home, you're like, hey, and then you're met with energy that you just don't, or you can't deal with at that moment. And you have to realize that not everybody is going to be at your level every single day, and you aren't going to be at their level every single day. So it's a give, it's a give and take. Does that answer the question?
That does. And I guess I want to know, like, because you mentioned that, you know, you chose your wife even on her worst day. Like, did you guys have some of those moments before you said I do?
Oh yeah.
Like, you guys were battle tested.
Battle tested, man. We were tested more than you'll ever know. And as you get to know me, I'll open up more about everything that we were tested with. But it wasn't always pretty.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't always great. But when I look at the family and I look at what we've created, I'm like, man, like that to me is success. You'll have a lot of people, you know, even entrepreneurs, especially on Instagram, talking about if you're not up at 3 a.m. working out and if you're not driving a Bugatti, you are not successful. If you don't have a six pack, you are not successful. You're a lazy piece of shit. And I really don't think that's the case. I think that, you know, for me, you know, those things are important too. You know, we're all on a journey of becoming better in one area, right? Where you're really good at one area, I'm going to suffer, right? Where I'm really good at one area, you might be suffering, right? So it's like, there's always that constant drive to get better. But dude, I think at the end of the day, man, if your family respects the shit out of you and you have 2 little girls and a boy or whatever kids you have look up to you and they're like, that's my fucking dad. You got everything in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Everything else is a plus.
Sometimes I'm like, can I skip to the kid part? But
I get it, man. I mean, dude, like there's some people that did. I mean, we talked about that. Was that Antonio Cromartie has like 25 children?
Yeah, 25 kids.
11.
Yeah.
My bad. I was off a little bit, but dude, there's a lot of people that just skip that.
Yeah.
And they have,
I'm not talking about that aspect.
I know
having my marriage, because the reason why I brought that up is because like I would say, just as a millennial and like with social media, dating wise, I feel like getting to that battle tested part, like the one sign of turbulence, I just feel like my generation just gives up, So it's like, it's just hard to get to that. Okay, like, can I trust you to be with me for thick and thin? Because when one slight of issue, it's like you're ready to cut me off, or you got so many other options. You go to that. So I don't know. It's almost like better, like. And I get lonely. I want to be in a relationship. I want to have a family. Like, I grew up in a 2-family household, so that's what I ideally want. But it's just hard, man. Like to have someone stick with you through thick and thin. Like I feel like our generation's just so like, yeah.
I think I don't know if it's just your generation though. Okay. I think it's a societal norm now because there's too many options.
Yeah, so many options.
I mean, like you go down. Think of it this way: you go down a main street in a populated area in the United States, and there's food on both sides, all the way up and down. How are you gonna make a choice?
Yeah, gonna look it up, see what the star ratings are.
And then you're going to social media and you're going to look, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing with people, nowadays with dating, they're going to these social apps, they're going to social media dating sites to rely on like the status of, should I be dating this person? You know, should I go to this restaurant? Should I do this? So it's like, I get what you're saying. And I think it's true. And I think even people at my age, I'm almost 46, there's single people at 46 to 50 that are dealing with the same thing. It's like the moment that there's one fight, oh, you know, he wasn't it for me.
Yep.
He's
red flag.
Red flag.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like, we're all fucked up, dude.
Yeah, we are.
We some of us hide it better, right? But I have my issues. I battle depression.
Yeah.
I've been very open about it. I've been very open about the things that I struggle with body image, body dysmorphia, all that kind of shit. But like, at the end of the day, man, that partner accepts you at your ugliest point. And that's who you ride with, dude. That's who you ride with.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Good stuff right there, man.
No, dude, it's great.
Yeah, it is.
Dude,
it is.
Start a parenting course and a marriage course over here. It's fucking great. So you have such an amazing background, and you know, while we could spend all day talking about the show, you're a human, and that's what I want the people listening right now. If you've watched season 6 of Love Is Blind, you may have a preconceived opinion about Clay. Now, what I choose to do all the time is take the human aspect and really get to know people. And what I've learned about you is you're just fucking incredible, dude.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. So you're an entrepreneur.
Yep.
You own a boat business in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yep.
Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so back in 2020, I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. I actually was in Atlanta. I was working at a tech company, and I was like, you know, I want to get a house. Came down to, it was the pandemic, so everything was shut down. One thing I saw that was popping was the lake. Everybody was at the lake, so I said, okay, this is a recession-proof business. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, Shawn. I was 2020. This is the year of the entrepreneur. This is when everyone's saying, if you're sitting on your ass, you ain't doing nothing.
You ain't doing shit. Hit that toggle button on Instagram. Become an entrepreneur.
If you ain't making $10,000 a month, you ain't doing shit. So I'm like, oh damn. Like
Then you have Wes Watson yelling at you. It's fucking crazy.
Man, so you know, I was filling up the juice. I was buying all those courses, and you know, I always wanted to be something bigger than I was. I always wanted to be validated, and you know, I just wanted to be bigger than how I viewed myself. You know, so you know, I came to Charlotte. I saw that the lake scene was popping, so I was like, you know what, this would probably be cool. There's not a lot of black folks that are actually owning boats and jet skis. So I said, you know, I'm already. I could come into this business. I'll have a niche. I'll have a market. So I got into it. I've started off with 2 jet skis. Never rode a jet ski a day in my life. Bought it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn how to ride a jet ski. Got it. Started doing some rentals. Had a really good year the first year. Got a boat. Now we're at 2 boats right now. We got 4 jet skis and we got 1 water car. Very stressful business. I'm not gonna lie. You know,
from the client like fulfillment standpoint.
From the client fulfillment, they love it. You know,
Okay.
I do love the fact that when I do give my services, like people are coming to have a good time. So I'm not really dealing with BS, like where people are just like droggy, like they're about to ride some jet skis. They're excited. They're about to get on a boat. You know, we do theme events, which has been really taken off. I do stuff like R&B on the lake, country tours, you know, boat tours for kids. So they're coming on and they're very excited. But the maintenance of it is a lot. Like I just got this water car, which is a car that rides on water. And I got it from across the country. And, you know, just as entrepreneurs, like everything looks all sweet, but I try to speak on the realness of it. Like I just had $10,000 of expenses that I had no idea about. I had to pay custom taxes. I had to pay tariff taxes. I had to pay something that was called like Damage or I can't even think of the name.
Sounds fancy.
It was like all these fees, $3,700, like $4,000 for this. I'm just like, bro, I wasn't even prepared for that. So, you know, and I've been paying on this water car since May, and I haven't even gotten it yet. You know, so sometimes you take risks, and it doesn't always, you know, pan out the way you want. You know, so you know, as business owners, like I try to always say, like it's a good thing to have your own financial freedom, but it takes a lot of work to get there. You know, and I haven't even got there. I'm 4 years in the business, and you know, I always say that I'm cash flowing, but not enough where I could leave my 9 to 5. You know, and you know, I love my 9 to 5 as well. So I'm kind of double booked with my time and my energy. So as you could probably imagine, it's hard to date.
Exactly. Yeah, it is hard to date. I get that because I split my energies up too. I own a payroll company, the show, you know, I do some distributor stuff for some biologics, you know, advanced wound care.
Oh, nice.
I mean, so it's a lot, dude.
Yeah.
But I think that's just the climate that we're in right now. It's like groceries are what, 3 times what they were in 2021, 2020.
House prices
are nuts. Like cost of money so fucking high. So like everybody's doing so much to survive. But I commend you because you know, you also played, you know, basketball
Track and
and
field.
track.
Yep.
You played basketball too, didn't you?
Mm-mm,
No,
no.
just track and field. Okay, my
I
bad.
played football for a little bit.
Okay.
But not on a collegiate level.
Okay.
Yeah.
So track and field at South Carolina. So
Yep.
the SEC, you know, my SEC brother here.
Yep.
Go
Almost
Tigers.
gave y'all a little scare.
Fucking, you know, you guys actually won that game, dude.
I know.
You guys actually won that game because that hit on the quarterback
Yeah.
was a football play.
Man, LSU, y'all paying them referees, man.
Hey, at least, yeah, but I mean, like, we got one a year.
Yeah.
Can we get one a year?
I know you
Because
got
if we
to.
breathe wrong, we get the flag thrown.
Well, I'm sure during Alabama game, they're going to get all the
Oh,
flags.
we're going to get toasted, bro. We're going to lose by like 50.
Nah.
I mean, it's going to be ugly.
You guys going to show up to play.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I hope so. Hope you're right, man. Hope you're right. Hope the defense actually shows up and it'll be a good game.
Yeah.
But the thing that I really want to touch on is, you know, let's line everything up in your life. All right. Everything you went through as a child. You know, you look at your sports growing up at a collegiate level high. I mean, big time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could have ran track professionally.
I could have, yeah.
And then the show. And now you're entrepreneur and you have a 9-to-5. So all these things while getting killed in the media, and you're finding a way to move forward when a lot of people would close up shop, wouldn't show their face in public. What about you stays so determined, dude, to like push through all of everything and continue on that path?
I think is before I did anything, I had a conversation with myself of who I want to be in this world, and I've just held myself accountable to that. I've always said that I always wanted to earn what I've gotten, and you know, I didn't want anything to be a handout. So I think with that, you know, you got determination with it. Like, the show didn't go the way that I anticipated. Of course, you go on the show to get married. I knew I said no, so I'm like, okay, well, hopefully people like me and I'm able to find my footing. That a lot of that didn't happen. So what am I going to do? Just put my head down and just be depressed? I just said that, you know, at the end of the day, I have bills to pay. You know, these I got to pay for this equipment. I got to pay for this mortgage. I got to pay for different things. So me not showing up, everything falls. So there's so much responsibility on my back. There really was no option to not show my face and to hide. I had to be front and center because, you know, I'm the face of my business. You know, if I'm on my 9-to-5, I'm the face to my company, to those guys. So you got to come out there and you got to face the ring.
How was it getting back into the real world after the show, going into your 9-to-5, right? And then, you know, for your business?
That was difficult.
Talk to me about that.
It was really difficult because even when I did the show, people always are trying to look for reasons of like what your intention was. Like, people can't just accept that, hey, I went on a show to find love and it didn't work out. Like, that, to me, I don't think people grasp that concept. You know, I got on the show, people saw that I had a business and said, oh, he wanted a show to promote his business. It's like, yo, I had this business for 3 years prior to the show before I even knew about the show.
Dude, I didn't even know about your business until we started following each other and connecting. I'm like,
well,
oh,
I wasn't
shit.
pushing it out like that when the show was going on. I was cognizant of that because at the end of the day, the show came out in February. My season usually typically starts up in like late April. So, you know, I didn't really have to promote as much, but yeah, like it was definitely difficult because I got bad reviews of my business. Some people, when I said no to AD, I had about 5 bad reviews. And you know, Shawn, like, reviews could be a lot.
That's everything.
You know? That's everything, you know. So
Because
you
of
get
the show.
Because of the show. They get 1 star, oh, Clay's a horrible person. Like, nothing that could pertain to my business, just like attacking me. And it's like, dang, like, how do I even get some bad reviews removed? Like, these people are giving me reviews in March. I didn't even have no rentals in March. So it's like, how are you giving me these bad reviews? And I know it was from the show because it happened right around that wedding episode. So definitely a little difficult, but like I said, you got to chug through.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's when you have to show up and do the damn thing still, you know, keeping perspective. I mean, because listen, man, that show, little blip, right? It's like a little time in your life. It's not, and the problem is the, you know, public likes to label people, right? Like, my label is probably, I'm a podcast host. No, I'm not.
Yeah. You're so much more.
That's one thing I do.
Yeah.
Right. Like, the most important thing is I'm a husband and a father.
For sure.
Right. And for you, like, you know, this is something that you did. And I just think that more people need to understand that there's real human beings behind all the shit. Like, all the shit. Like, they don't even know what happened, you know, behind the cameras, you know, everything like that. And that's stuff that we can't get into. But like, dude, it's not as cut and dry as it looks on TV.
It's not. But I'm going to say this, man, people on social media, they do a lot of barking on social media in person, you know, because I am outside, because I do interact with people. You could rent my boat and I'm going to be on the boat with you and you can have a conversation. human beings, when you do have that dialogue with them, they are understanding, I think. It's just the social media barrier where it's like everybody's this big bad wolf on social media. Everybody has a strong opinion, but like you're not able to have that dialogue with me where I'm able to change your perspective or even tell you my perception of how things went, because I could change the way how you view it. You know, when people watch a show, they're seeing it from the lens of Love is Blind. There was so many stuff that was not shown. There was so many conversations that show a little bit why I said no that was not aired. You know, so when I have those conversations with people like I had with you, people are like, oh, wow, like I totally get that.
Dude,
you know?
like when we're driving in the car, I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, dude. Like, I'm sorry. That's terrible.
Yeah.
You know, again, it's one of those things that you learn through, right? And, you know, social media, it's funny because, you know, that one of the other things that we're talking about on the way here was like, I had followed you like way back, right? And, you know, when I follow people, I follow them because I like them. I want to follow them, not because I expect a return follow. But then there was a Kevin Garnett post.
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett kind of went at, you know, the younger basketball generation. And what would you say? You said, y'all acting like Bron ain't out here doing.
Oh, yeah. So Kevin Garnett was saying that these younger folks wouldn't be able to pretty much essentially last in the older generation. It was a little bit more physical. They wouldn't be able to withstand the 04 Pistons and all this stuff. And I was like, y'all acting like LeBron James wasn't killing y'all. And when he was a rookie, like he was averaging 17. The second year came, I think, in 06 or 07, he took them to the championship. I still feel like from 2010 to 2000, I was a little bit of the old resume of the NBA. So I'm like, nah, these guys are still playing in the league and they were killing it, you know, and you were like, nah, you got to look at that from this point.
Yeah.
And honestly, me and you actually kind of had a little bit of a debate, but like I said, I love sport debates.
No, it was done. It was like, you said what you said.
Yeah.
And then I responded.
Yep.
And then I think you went to my profile.
Yeah. Then I was like, oh,
who's
this guy's
this guy?
cool.
Yeah. Who's this guy? Follow him. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like, hey, man, what's up?
Yeah. We went from a debate to friends.
Yeah. It's like, what's up, man? Now like a 5-hour drive from fucking Tampa and lunch after. I can't wait to eat.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
same,
starving.
Same. My stomach's growling.
We wanted to get a workout in today. Didn't work.
Didn't work out.
You know, we were going to go to the Omni Performance Institute in Fort Myers and get a lift in. But, you know, we got stuck. There was a fatality on the road, man. 448 this morning.
Yeah, RIP.
Rest in peace to those poor souls that lost their lives on the interstate today. It sucks, man.
Yeah.
Just makes me think like, dude, man, we never know. Never know. So like, we never know what's coming, you know, or if we're going to be here tomorrow. So like, my big thing is like, well, what are we going to do with today? You know, are we going to fully live today? Because I think a lot of times, and we could all fall into this, we just exist. You know, like, okay, I'm just going to exist today because I feel like shit. It's like, no, dude, like we got to live, man. Like, who do you want to be today? And now go be that person. You know, how do you manage that in your life?
In terms of just taking advantage of the day?
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
I think it's something that's a good point, man. And I was like, when you were just saying, I'm like, man, I never really thought of it like that. Like at the end of the day, we have to take advantage of the day. But I think of it like this, right? You know, opportunities don't come all the time. And even an opportunity to have a conversation with somebody. Like I remember I looked at your Instagram, I'm like, okay, this guy's talking about some pretty good stuff. Like I would like to meet him. And the fact that you wanted to do like a pod with me, I thought that was dope. And, you know, of course, I didn't know you and I get in the car with you, but I'm like, this is an opportunity for me to expand my network, maybe pick your brain, understand something that maybe I'm struggling with that you could help me out with, like i.e. the, you know, marriage aspect and also, you know, your entrepreneur ventures as well. So I just kind of take it as like, hey, you know, I want to be able to live life to the fullest. And, you know, I never thought of it of like, I need to do it today and tomorrow's not here. But I've always wanted to say, like, I want to live my life to the fullest. I want to be in the right rooms. I want to take advantage of opportunities that come to me. Of course, you could say no to some situations,
you
have to say no to certain situations. But if situation seems good or something you never experienced before, sometimes I feel like if my body's like all saying like, hey, I don't want to do this. Like maybe there's something there that
something there.
Yeah, something there,
right?
Yeah.
I should go do this.
Yeah.
It's funny because my good friend, David Waldy, I'm going to plug him right here. About 3 weeks ago, dude, I was feeling pretty dark, bro. Like I was struggling. I was in one of those rabbit holes, man, that you just fall into. Just can't get out. I had a call with him, 2-hour call with him. He coached me up for 2 hours. At the end of it, he's, I'm going to say something to you right now. And I want you to try not to take it personally. Because I don't mean it directly towards you. So sure. He goes, stop living life so arrogantly like you know tomorrow's coming. Go be the man you want to be today.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like that shook me, dude.
Yeah.
That
That's
shook
powerful.
me. That shook me because it's like, here I am, the last 2-3 weeks, you know, Eeyoreing it around my house, you know, trying to put on a good face for everybody, but behind closed doors, I'm hurting. It's like, dude, go be in alignment. Go do the things you say you're going to do. Go to that gym. You know, eat the good food, right? Love on your family. Put your phone down. Like, do all the things, you know?
That's a good
Spend time
point.
with guys. So it's like, stop living life so arrogantly, like you know what's coming tomorrow.
And Shawn, what you said, that just, like, I even forgot about. Sometimes I'll go through traumatic situations and I just try to keep moving on. I remember this past Thursday, one of my friends was actually called me to say goodbye. I feel like it was like a suicide call.
Stop.
And I swear. And it's just shocked me. I'm like, why? Like, why am I having this conversation? Why are you calling me? And at that time, my only thing was like, okay, I need to make sure I'm on this phone with her as long as possible to make sure nothing crazy happens. And I'm giving her advice, and I'm like, these are stuff that I really never said. I'm just like, hey, at the end of the day, like, you have to do what makes you happy. Like, try to forget about the stuff that's giving you negative, like, perception, negative animosity. Do things that's going to make you happy. And it kind of put back, like, you know, what success means to me is essentially, it was money, and I've realized that money does not bring me happiness. You slave for money. And I remember I made the most money in 2021, and I was not that happy.
Yeah.
You know, happiness, being around friends, being around people who celebrate you, you know, just being in a good aura, doing things that's fun, doing things exhilarating like you never did before, having experiences. That's what life is, what it's about. It's about being happy. It's about surrounding yourself with happiness. And, you know, me kind of talking to her about that, I wasn't even thinking it, and I could tell it resonated. You know, she's okay. She got the proper help. But you know, it was heavy. It was heavy. It was a heavy conversation. And I'm going through stuff too, Shawn.
Sure,
like,
of course.
You know, I'm depressed. You know, like I'm kind of navigating through life right now, trying to figure things out for myself as well. Like, I had that bad week from an entrepreneur perspective where $10,000 I had to, and I'm over here complaining. I got a friend that's, you know,
wants in her life.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, what am I complaining about? You know, like.
Well, I think that both can be true, right? I think, you know, your friends and people can be going through some really serious things, like life-threatening things, but then your problems also do matter.
Yeah.
You know, I think the one thing that, you know, you asked, like, why am I having this conversation? Why are you calling me? It's because of who you are. It's because she trusts you, right? And I'm glad that she called you, because somebody else may not have been able to talk her out of that.
Yeah.
Like, so it was led down that road, you know, on purpose. And that's great that she's okay. But dude, going back to it, like, bro, you got me now. Like, straight up, dude, no matter what you need, text, call, like, hey, dude, I need you to come up. Okay. That's quick flight, man. Like, I'm there.
Yep.
Like, I'm there.
Appreciate that.
And look, dude, and I'll fucking call you too. Like, hey, bro, I'm not feeling good right now. I've got these thoughts, you know, just I'm down. But I think, like, men don't talk about that enough.
Yeah, we don't.
You know, because we are supposed to put on this, you know, we grew up in there, like, don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. Rub some dirt on it, man. You're a man. Men don't cry. The best men do. The best men do cry. Like, I cry. Like, it's funny because we're talking about moments, right? And this is something that was so strange to me. Last night, my wife shows me this slideshow of my friend Aaron and Kristen, their daughter and my youngest daughter. They were like they're best friends, and they lived 4 doors down from us, and they moved to fucking Alabama like a year ago.
Yeah.
And there was a slideshow of over the years of, like, you know, these girls playing together, you know, like little bitty on iPads, and, like, you know, like being really terrible at driving this little motorized car, and just like things that we did as a family, and, you know, and friends. And I looked at it. I just started crying. I'm like, I hate the fact that they're not here. I hate the fact that they don't live here anymore, because those moments right there, we didn't realize that those were some really cool moments. So, like, if we can just, you know, to the advice that you gave your friend, be with the moments. Like, it's going to be very, very difficult to ever give up.
Yeah.
Right. Because there's so much beauty that goes on every single day.
It is.
Think about it.
You're right.
You win a lottery ticket every time you wake up, bro.
You're right.
Damn. And it's heavy because I don't know how old you are. You're probably what?
30.
So you're 30. So I'm 45. So, like, you're at the time now, 30, like.
So I'm 31 now. Sorry.
That's right. You just had a birthday.
Yeah, just birthday September 6th.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I remember that. You got the happy birthday text.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Fucking right.
Hey.
That's how you know you made it.
I made it.
You fucking made that. It's like, that's how you know. But, like, you know, you're at the age now, we're all at the age where we're starting to have friends that pass.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just important for us to reach out, to get help, to lean on people that understand what we're going through. And if someone can't be there for us, we find someone who can. We don't give up. We just keep moving.
Keep moving.
Right. But we also lean into the shitty feelings.
For sure.
Let me ask you a question, man.
Yep.
In light of everything, what was the number one lesson that you learned from the show?
Number one lesson I learned from the show that I think I talked to you about it a little bit in the car. I feel like I've always searched for validation, and that searching for validation, I'm only going to be able to get that if I validate myself. So I think that was not looking for the public to validate me or not looking for, my relationship to validate me. I have to be able to validate myself. I have to be able to understand. So I guess to make a long story short, stop seeking validation in other people. I think that was the number one thing.
But dude, that's hard though, because this is something that people don't realize. I'm that way too. But they don't realize that most athletes are. Because most athletes are, man, and most entrepreneurs are. Because the validation from the outside world says I'm a good athlete. It says I'm on the lineup card. It says that, I'm running this event. I'm running the 200 day. I'm running the fucking 400.
I'm getting recruited by the SEC. That means I'm a good athlete.
Boom. I'm like, it's the best of the best. I PR'd at 45 seconds, right? Like that kind of shit right there. That's that validation. As an entrepreneur, your revenue is your validation that you're doing a good job to a point, right? Like we know there's a cycle where businesses ramp up, and depending on what type of business,
seasons.
My show was zero. The people that own Grit Media Studios know how busted my podcast business was at the very beginning. Couldn't afford shit, and then we hit to a point where now we're trending. We're six figures now. Like that just didn't happen, right?
It's a process.
But in those moments, it's like, dude, I was seeking that external validation so bad because that's how we know we're doing a good job. Like, look at the ratings.
Yep.
Yeah, I give a shit about that.
Yeah.
I'm doing this. I love this. It's my passion.
Yeah.
But I don't want to suck at it.
Yeah.
I want to be top 10, top 5.
And I do believe you do need certain level of outside validation. Yeah. It's just that where I feel like where it was kind of controlling me, where it's like I wasn't doing enough validation for myself, and you, as you know, as an entrepreneur, you even like I could have a good revenue day and still feel like, a piece of shit.
Yeah, of course.
So I think that it was just not really kind of tying up my happiness with money, not tying up my happiness with how people view me. I think that was a big aspect of it. And of course, like with the show, when I was doing the show, I wasn't thinking about the validation aspect of it. I was more so, when I said no to AD, I was kind of messed up for a good 2 months. Because, I said no in front of her family, and you start thinking like, man, like that was rough. And I really didn't anticipate the magnitude of that day. So after the show, if you would have asked me that question before it even aired, I would tell you the biggest lesson that I've learned is probably that, therapy was big for me. I needed to be able to speak on certain things that I struggle with, and not being scared of my intuition, and also being a little bit more transparent with my flaws. That was a big lesson I learned, because people could relate to that instead of me always acting like things are perfect. Like things are not perfect.
But did you feel like you acted like things were perfect on the show?
I don't think I act like because I don't. Because I am transparent, but I also have a good way of making people feel like it's okay.
Okay.
I always like, because my mind is a lot of turmoil going on there. So much stuff going on. But like in the outside, if I have a conversation with you, now in a one-on-one, I might tell you what the real is going on. But like, especially when you have a girl, and I feel like men, we have to be leaders, right? So if I'm leading my woman to a path of destruction, she's going to follow me there, or she's going to take flight. So I felt as though that in that time period, it was a lot of turmoil, and I'm not really seeing the red roses and butterflies in the end of this road. So, but I made it seem like it was cool. And I think that was maybe one of the things I should have never done. Even though I did express, hey, I got hesitation to this, I should have really sat her down like, yo, AD, like I love you, but I don't think that I don't think that this time period is meant for us to get married, but I still want to invest in you. I don't think I made it as clear to her. I kind of made it seem like, yeah, I'm struggling with this, but we're going to be fine. So she trusted that,
Fuck, that's big, dude.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you I'm going to hit the rock on that one, dude. Because that right there is accountability. That is, just truly understanding and having a feel for what you what you did and how now you've grown, what you could have done better. I mean, that's big, dude. That's breakthrough shit, you know? And I think that should be well received. You know, I think for everybody who's throwing the shade and killing you out there, it's like, man, they got to remember you're a human being. And you just said it, you could have done better, right? I could have done X, Y, Z. And I look at a lot of different things. I mean, this weekend that I fucked up on in my own household that I could have done better. Some of them are eating me up. Some of them are eating me up because I am so damn human. And, you know, my middle child, you know, got the best of me this weekend. And, you know, it's been hard 2 days because my children are my everything. And I don't like getting mad at my kids.
Yeah, I get that.
You know, it's just so strange. And when I do, it's like, oh shit, like, is that going to fuck her up? Because as a dad, that's the shit that you worry about. You, especially with daughters, like, oh my God, did I just show her it's okay for another man, you know, to possibly raise his voice at her?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, she does get a little wild, man. Sometimes you got to
put them in check. You know?
Put them in check.
Yeah.
They got to know who their dad is.
Yeah, they got to. Yeah,
they got to know who their dad is. You know, that at the very core level, they got to be like, he ain't normal.
I don't know. I'm a Caribbean guy. I think you know children need discipline, but listen, don't let me start.
Yeah, I mean it's different, right? But see, I grew up in an era where, you know, if I fucked up, like I was scared because my dad was like, "Go get the belt," and it was more for me. It was more of a scary thing. Like he never. I mean, he did drag my ass out of the house once. Me and my dad have had a very colorful history, and recently we started talking again. Like, you know, it was so funny. Like I was fucking with him yesterday. He said, "Happy birthday. Hope you have a great day."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Yo, it's not my birthday." I was like, "You're about a month early." And he goes, 10/29/79. I was like, "Close. 10/28/1978."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Damn, you don't even know your kid's birthday? What the fuck, man?" But like, I think a year or two ago, maybe even 6 months ago, I'd been like, "Man, fuck you, bro.
Yeah.
You don't even know my birthday," and then made it about me. It's like, I don't know what that man's going through. And I said, "Hey, that's, you know," he's like, "Oh, sorry." He's like, "I just wanted to be on time. I'm in the hospital. You know, I've got an infection in my foot. I'm having surgery again tomorrow." I'm like, damn. So like, I was happy that I handled that situation right. Because at first I got my feelings. You can ask my wife. Like I wanted to cry. I was like, "Oh my God, my dad doesn't know my birthday." Is that really it? Is that really it? And can you blame him? We haven't spoken in 3 years. It's like, I mean, I remember when his birthday is, but you know, I'm also younger. So I just think, man, like, I don't know where I'm going off that tangent, but it's just, I completely lost track. But, you know, we got on to my dad and
we're talking about kids too.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff
Yeah. So there was a time where he dragged my ass out of the house.
Yeah.
You know the scariest thing he did to me was? My mom pissed me off one time. Fucking pissed me off. I threw my remote control. I turned around and gave a right hook to my wall and put a hole in my wall. I was like in 8th grade, dude.
Yeah. You're pissed.
Badass. Yes, pissed.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to do this. And so my mom calls my dad. Goes, "Your dad would like to speak with you." "Yes, sir." "So your mom tells me that you got in an argument with your sister." I was like, "Yeah." "And then you got really pissed and then you put a hole in the wall." I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Cool, do me a favor." I was like, "Get ready for the belt." He goes, "No, pack your bags. You're going to juvenile hall." I'm like, "What the fuck? I'm going to jail?" That joker, I literally packed the bag. And he took me, we got home, got in the car, drove me to juvenile hall, took me all the way to the parking lot, bro. And I'm like,
you're scared the whole ride.
I'm like, this motherfucker ain't messing around. He's crazy. He's gonna put his own kid in jail for putting a hole in the wall. Like, bro, come on. I'm not selling drugs out this place, dude. What's going on? I didn't hit my mom. I hit a wall. Like, we could pay for that shit. I'll wash cars.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Dad, no, don't take me to juvenile. I promise I'll never fight with my sister again. I'll never." And then that, I did not hold that into the bargain up. But, you know, he turned around and we went home. He never had the intention of leaving me there. It was to teach me a lesson. But dude, to your point. So I mean.
And I'm a little off tangent too, but like, I even see it today, man. I mean, I'm not saying that like, you know, you need to like, you know, hit your children, but they need to know there's consequences for the action. Cause I even see even nowadays, man, like you even look at like, I'm big in the hip hop scene. So I see all the time, a lot of these kids would creating all these crimes. Like, you know, it's like most of the crimes that are like that, the outlandish crimes are like really by like children, you know, like teenagers. And it's like, what discipline did they have growing up? And it's like, I also, you know, this is a little controversy, but like the importance of a 2-family household where, you know, you have your parents and they're actually active in their children's life, because, you know, you got these kids raising themselves. So what type of consequences do they understand? I knew that when I would touch the stove, I'll get burnt, you know, and I know there was consequences for me doing that. Whereas a kid who grows up by himself, or you know, and I'm actually watching my friend, he's actually has a baby. And he said, I don't understand how people could raise children by themselves. They do it, but it's like, my wife is stressed. I have to take over. My kid wakes up every single 2 hours. It's a partnership type of thing, you know? So I'm only imagining, like, you know, for people who, you know, get raised by one parent, you know, how can they give you your undivided attention as you're growing up? It's hard, you know? It's
hard. So like my dad, when I say my dad, he actually married my mom when I was, I think, 9 or 10. So my biological father and my mom split when I was 2, I think. And then I saw him a couple times growing up. And then like right around, I think maybe, you know, between 7 and 9, I remember telling my dad on the phone that my mom was getting married. And then the next time I was supposed to see him, he just fucking left me there, man. He didn't pick me up. And so like you know, a part of it is like this, I'm not good enough, right? Because my dad didn't even come pick me up. And I didn't see him. And then finally, before I moved to Florida, when I was 30 years old, I found his ass. I showed up at his house, knock, knock. And we lost touch after that. But, you know, so the point is, like, my mom was pretty much single, you know, my whole childhood until I was 10. So, like, those are formative years, man. When you look at it, it's like, okay, 10 years old. Okay, I mean, you're still little, but it's still enough to create massive insecurities, right? And limiting beliefs and like weird behaviors based on, like, dude, my dating life when I was a kid was horrendous. I was like, is everything okay? Are you okay? Are you mad at me? Like, dude, if I was a girl, I would have not have dated my ass.
Yeah.
Like,
because you don't know, though. You don't know because, you know, you're not getting that validation at home. You know, I was even, you know, when I was talking to my therapist, you know, I was always trying to please my dad. You know, I almost felt like,
same, bro.
You know, I almost felt like if I was like, that's why I wanted to be seen, because I felt like I wasn't really seen in the household. It was like, it wasn't really until I got good at sports where I felt like I got my dad's respect. And, you know, like, because, and a lot of it is because, you know, and I love my dad, me and my dad have a great relationship, but like, I almost felt like when I started doing good in sports, he started seeing me, like, I kind of validated him. Like, you know, you got, just imagine like your son, he's doing well in sports and now everyone's coming like, yeah, your son, look at this. You're going to feel like a sense of empowerment.
Damn
you know?
right, it's my kid.
Yeah, that's my kid. Yeah, that's my kid. That's my kid.
I did that.
Yep. And it's like a little bit like, you know, you need to do that when, even before they, you know, did their athletic stuff. Cause now that kind of changed my brain where it's like, okay, if I do things well, people are going to like me. If I could do something for someone, they're going to like me, you know? And it makes you feel like naturally people are not going to like you just for being who you are, you know?
My dad, I'm trying to think of the right words to ways to bring this across, because so many times in the past I've like been vehemently pissed at him for this, and I've killed him, you know, on camera. And so I've addressed it with him. Said, hey man, I've said a lot of things and I know you did your best. But like for me, it was like, for those that listen that know baseball, 4 at-bats, 2 hits, a home run and a double. And I'm walking back to the truck like, yeah, what's up, motherfucker? This is good. I mean, my dad's going to be happy. Like, what happened to at bat number 3 where you struck out? It fucking sucked. And then you popped one up. That's horrible. And then you had a pass ball. Like, what? You got to catch the ball, man. It's like, whoa. Oh, okay. So I got to be perfect now. But looking at it, and I'm trying to, really grow through this, is like, is that what he really meant? Like, or is he just doing the best he could to teach me, like, never be satisfied, like be blissfully dissatisfied, like really be happy, but also keep working. Yeah. I think that was probably his message, but I took it completely different. Yeah. But you know what sports did for me? What? It stopped me from getting bullied. Mm-hmm. Man, I remember in middle school having to run home. We talked about it a little bit. Yep. And I remember growing up in Concord, California, and people, are probably like, yeah, I mean, I got some homies back home that listen. And to me, it was that bad. I didn't live in, New Orleans. I mean, that's a little different, right? But the pocket where I lived in Concord, was gang territory, you know? And I remember, you know, 6th grade, having to sprint home, like to go out the path in the back of the school. You know, every elementary school and middle school has that path. Scared out of my mind because I knew the Bloods were there to try to fight me. You know, I mean, like, dude, that shit's hard, man.
Yeah, it is.
You know, so it's like, you know.
So when you start doing good in sports, they let
me alone.
Yeah,
let me alone. And it was in high school. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that, because I was losing my track, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck, you're good. You need a show. You need a show.
My friend told me that. He's
You're
like,
so good. You can be a Determined Society affiliate member. But no, dude. Like, I remember, and I love this guy. You know, like, he was making fun of me at baseball practice. Like, I wasn't as good looking as him. He gets all the chicks. And then I made a statement. I'm like, yeah, that's why you're getting cut today, because you can't make grades. He was like, oh, fuck you. I'm gonna whoop your ass after practice. I'm like, okay, bitch. That dude waited for me, man. He waited for me. And he came at me. He was bigger than me, in better shape. I was a little pudgy dude. Had no muscle on me at all. And he had me on the ground, you know, and he was biting my lap.
Yeah.
Is he biting me? I'm like, let me up, dog. You hungry?
Yeah.
And
he was.
I pushed him up against the railing, and he came back, and I hit him once. And it was over. Split him here in his eye. And, you know, I was the bad guy the next day because I'm a little bitch, because I wore my ring. I didn't have my class ring. Just got you flush, buddy. But he and I are cool now, but like, and I'm not a fighter. I don't like it. It makes me feel weird. But from that point on, it was like nobody messed with me.
Yeah.
And especially once they saw me throw a baseball. Mm-hmm. It was like sports was just that validation.
It is. Mm-hmm.
You know, which created this identity. And I did a TED Talk on it too. It was like, identity crisis post sports. It's like, it's fucking wacko.
Man, that's 2 points I want to get to, because that's a good story.
So many good things.
So many good things.
You're going to have to stay another day, bro.
I might have to, man. Because I was going to say, like, athletics does, like, kind of take a lot of pressure from you. Like, I'm talking about from the teachers. Like, once the school knew that, okay, Clay is really good at track, and I was also starting football player since, like, my sophomore year. So I had a lot of, like, perks that I got, like, special privileges, I would say, from school. And I always got good grades, but I'm like, I could be a little late walking to class, and the teacher would be like, Clay, here's this late pass, just get to class on time. And the hood guys would not really bother me. Mm-hmm. They would, like, I remember one time I was with my girlfriend. It was this real hood dude. I was right after college. After my first year of college. This one hood guy, like, talking to me, trying to talk to my girl. You know, I'm feeling big. I'm like, yo, bro, what you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I had a lot of the hood dudes from my school like, yo, that's Clay, bro. Don't do that. Don't do that. And they had my back. So it definitely gives you a little bit more of, like, that validation where they want you to be successful. They feel like
he's got some stuff going for him. Like, let's let him
go. You know? And then to your point about, you know, after the athletics, you trying to figure out who you are. You know, like, I stopped running track, in my opinion, a little bit abruptly. I came off a really good season, and I just said, you know what? You know, Guyana wanted me to run for them and get a stipend. 2016 Olympics are coming up for Rio. And then I was just like, you know what? I never worked a day in my life before. I'm going to have to get into the real world, or I'm never going to really make this transition. And that was really depression for me to go through, man, where it's just like, I didn't know who I was, because every validation I got came from athletics. Like, my life changed. Women started noticing me. Like, my family dynamic got better. You know, popularity grew off of athletics. So now with that gone, who am I? You know, and I feel like it's still been like a never-ending cycle. Who the hell is Clay? You know?
Well, it's funny because it's like all those lessons tie into the entrepreneurship aspect of what you're doing, right? And you're always going to have identity crisis, right? So, like, you left a company last year, and then January you started a new company. That's an identity crisis. You're selling. You went from selling hardware to selling AI, right? Solutions, right? So that's an identity crisis, and you have to grow through it. And you have to understand what you can bring to it now, as opposed to, like, I can't do that here because that was that job. And I think it's something that's just not talked about, dude.
No, not at all.
Dude, it's just not talked about. Parents that go through, you know, there are no kids and they have a kid. There's an identity crisis. You know, you're single, then you get engaged. That's an identity crisis, because there's always, like, this change in life. But
good point, man. That's
dude,
a great point. Yeah, we're always changing. So you're right. We're always dealing with identity crisis, and I'm sure even with marriage, back to the marriage part, there's identity crisis because you change within the relationship where now you have to relearn your spouse.
Here's a good one. I've had a ton of growth over the last 3 years. My wife always praises me for it. You're just a different person. But sometimes she will still hold me accountable to that other dude, like that dude that I was 3 years ago. And I do it to her too, right? So it's like, you know, even though like a version of you dies, you know, sometimes it still comes back and you still have to atone for it. So that's just something for the listeners too, to really think, like, be careful what you do in the moment, because you may not be able to overcome it, right? Like, really think about and choose your next words wisely, especially in relationships, but then also as it pertains to entrepreneurship and, you know, everything that's going on in the world. Like, think, like, really think, is this what I want to say and do?
For sure.
You know?
Yep.
So, dang, man, this
Yeah,
is
man.
good. Like, fuck.
Hey.
I feel like I could go on a Rogan style
Yeah.
podcast where they just like literally like an hour and a half, 2 hours, man. You're gonna have to come back. We're gonna have to do it again.
I'm
man.
super random. I'm kind of well versed in a couple topics, so I'm definitely down. Yeah,
Same,
I'm
dude. It's
definitely down.
funny because, like,
Yeah.
you know, that's the one thing that I think the audience enjoys about my show. It's very raw and authentic, and it's not, you know, let me ask you this question. Okay, what's next on the card? You know, it's like, we're gonna bounce around, but the overarching theme always comes down to determination, overcoming adversity, how it pertains to entrepreneurship and growing as a human. You know, so I just appreciate you coming on, man. Dude, what's next for you?
Man, I think it's endless possibilities. I try to take it a step at a time. I'm always been bad about like the 10-year plan.
I've never even thought of it.
I've always been like, people are like, what's your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? It's like, man, I'm just living, man. I'm just, you know, kind of to your point where like, you got to take advantage of the day. I guess I do kind of live by that, but I just didn't think of it like, okay, tomorrow's not promised. But honestly, what's next for me is I do feel like I'm gonna keep on elevating, because I hold myself accountable to that. I don't know what that's gonna look like, but I know that the version you're seeing now is gonna be an evolved version the next time you see me. I don't know what work is gonna get put in, but whatever I see, whatever stuff, I'm gonna take advantage of opportunities, and I'm always constantly trying to be better.
You know, it's funny because, like, you said something earlier, like, two things can be true, right?
Yep.
So as long as you go through life
Mm-hmm.
understanding that both things could be true,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
As it pertains to people's perspective, if you're having a relationship issue, she could be right, you can be right, you both can be right.
Yeah.
But it's like that common ground, right?
Mhm.
Like, how do we come to that common ground? You know, and it's funny because my business partner, Pat, had me do an exercise this weekend. He goes, I want to know what you want, short-term, mid-term, long-term. I'm like, because I have dreams. Like, everybody in this building knows what I want, right? And we know the trajectory we're on, but I had to literally put it to pen and paper. Like, to a point where even on one of them, I said, I want somebody filtering inquiries ASAP. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't, because I'm too nice. Like, I always find ways like, well, maybe I can work this into my show. No, if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fucking fit. Like, it's just the way it is. You know, then I had to do the mid-range, like, by end of 2025, where do we want to be? What do you want? And I got very granular, I thought. And then the big vision was just like, I'll say it here, I was like, bigger than Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, bigger,
Mm-hmm.
bigger.
Yep. Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And dude, and I say that because I got nothing but love for that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
it's a homage. Like
dude, that
paying
dude's
homage.
a fucking G, bro.
He is. I love his podcast.
Dude, it's amazing.
Yep.
If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's really think about
inspired
that.
you.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what's up.
Rogan, you know, Andy Frisella's MFCEO project way back in the day was dope. Don't really listen to Real AF now, but, you know, the MFCEO project. And it's funny. Today is actually International Podcast Day. Did you know
it
that?
is? I didn't know that.
I didn't know. Happy, yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
well, hey,
Yeah.
happy International Podcast to all my
Hey,
podcasters.
It's like a birthday, you know? But like, dude, like, I say that with Rogan because that's the benchmark for me.
Yeah.
You know, he is unbelievable. He is intelligent, funny as hell, and he has the best conversations, dude.
He does.
And if I could even get close to that,
Yeah.
then I'm flying high, man.
You flying high, man.
I'm flying high, bro.
Yep. That's awesome.
Well, look, dude, I appreciate you, man. I think it's time we close this thing out.
Okay.
We go to get some food,
Yep.
get you fed, and then, you know, you got to hop on that flight.
Gotta head back to Charlotte.
Got to head back to Charlotte.
Yeah.
I'm glad everything's good there. I know. A big shout out to North Carolina. There's a lot of flooding going on there, and there's been a lot of, you know, weather from Hurricane Helene that has displaced a lot of people, and it's just sad. It's really sad, and so I'm glad that you're going back to a place where you can be comfortable in your own home. But everybody that listened to the show, I just want to thank you. If it's the first time you listen to the show, follow the show, leave a review, go see my man Clay on Instagram, check out his business. If you're ever in North Carolina, or ever in Charlotte, go rent a boat, get on a pontoon. You're going to be doing these country tours now.
I'm gonna be doing
get you on
country
some
music tour. Yeah, he's actually. So we was in a car ride. He was putting me on. What's his name? Morgan
Wallen, man.
Morgan Wallen, man.
Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, I'm doing country music boat tours with actually one of the guys that was on the show, Jeremy.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Because Jeremy actually thought of the idea. He was like, Clay, man, you got all these R&B on the boat events, like they're going really well.
Yeah.
Like tap into my market. I was like, you know what? That's smart. Like, you know, yeah. Collaborations, man.
That's where it's at.
Yeah.
You know, like dropping the ego is the most important thing. Get everybody working together. We can go a lot further and a lot quicker. So,
real talk.
Thank you again, bro. Guys, until next time, be good, chase your dreams, stay determined. Peace.
So I've tried a lot of protein. You know, what I've always found is all the flavors, you can taste artificial flavoring in them. With raw, it's exactly that. I don't taste that. It's a clean protein source. Tastes great, and I'm not putting a lot of things in my body that aren't good for you. The biggest thing that I will say that I love about raw nutrition and Bum Energy is they're all natural ingredients and they're third-party tested. So what that means is an actual lab test is to make sure what's in the product is actually what is stated on the label. And then you'll see on the website of Raw Nutrition that it is signed off on. So there's no banned substances in these products. Athletes can use them safely and not get tested and popped for a failed drug test for performance enhancing, you know, ingredients. It's completely safe, guilt-free, baby.
Shawn French, what up? This one luck, I let the pain inspire me. I put my all in everything I'm doing. Up until it's done, I'm me for the entirety. I put in overtime, I be working. Just know I'ma go for mine, cause I earned it. They watching, I know it's time. I confirmed it. A whole society determined to show.
Next up is a little song from CarMax about selling a car your way.
You wanna sell those wheels, you wanna get a CarMax instant offer.
So fast.
Wanna take a sec to think about it.
Or like a month.
Wanna keep tabs on that instant offer.
With Offer Watch.
Wanna have CarMax pick it up from your driveway. Get it done today. You wanna do
So, wanna drive? CarMax. Pickup not available everywhere. Restrictions and fee may apply.